million inhabitants, of which at least 1 million are currently threatened by global sea level rise. For this research, which focuses on specific solutions for the protection of vital infrastructures and the protection of people and nature, a water rise of 5 meters has been taken into account. The presentation was recorded by the people shown below left. Hopefully you can enjoy it.
First, we will talk about the problem definition. Then we will talk about the risk areas. And then we will talk about the measures we would like to take at the airport and the nature reserve.
The problem of rising sea levels is a fact. According to the Dutch Meteorology Institute KNMI, this could be 1 to 2 meters in the year 2100. But how much it will eventually rise can still be influenced. If no action is taken, the sea level has even risen 3 meters in the year 2100. When this is the case, it will require extreme measures to keep our feet dry in a lot of areas. One of those areas is Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Rio is located in the east of Brazil and can be seen in the map on the right. The height above sea level is only 2 meters, and in this presentation, the risk areas in Rio, like the airport and the protected natural area, are being discussed.
This map shows the risk areas in the densely populated city of Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is a city with a lot of height difference. That is why a flood height of 5 meters has been considered for this map. This 5 meter is based on the expected sea level rise of 3 meters and the maximum storm surge of 2 meters. The area shaded in red will flood at a potential water level of 5 meters. This map shows which critical infrastructures are flooded at this water level. As you can see on this map, several hospitals will lose their function at this maximum water level. But not only a large number of hospitals become inaccessible, also the three largest airports in Rio de Janeiro will be destroyed at this water level of 5 meters. The biggest problem for the city of Rio is that the red shaded areas are extremely densely populated. The city itself has a population of 7 million people, which 1 million people are living in the red areas. The consequences of a flood with a height of 5 meters are therefore enormous due to the dense population and the critical infrastructures located in the red zones. Targeted solutions must therefore be found to limit the catastrophic consequences. The following slides provide solutions aimed at protecting the risk areas. These solutions are also nature friendly due to the new sustainable world we are entering.
Santos Dumont Airport is the second major airport of Rio de Janeiro. It's opened in 1936 and it is operated by Infraero. Santos Dumont Airport is located next to the center of the city and thereby it's essential for its city's tourism, business flights and cargo trade. Because the airport is located in sea, in connection with the Southern Atlantic Ocean, sea level rise will be a high risk for the airport. Some measures will be outlined to adapt the airport for the sea level rise of 5 meters. The measure we propose for the airport is removing the stone blocks on the shore side, creating a dike around the seaside of the airport, as you can see highlighted in red, and sheet piles on the city side as highlighted in blue. The dike and sheet piles will reach a height of 5.5 meters above the current sea level, to withstand a 3 meter sea level rise and a 2 meter spring and storm surge side. The underwater part of the dike will be carried out with big stones and thereby pores, so that sea life as oysters, lobsters, seaweeds and fishes can settle. Before the dike, a kelp reef of 10 meters wide will be planted as a natural wave breaker. Sand dunes or beaches can be excluded as possible measures because moving sand during strong wind periods can lead to damage to the engines of the planes. Also measures as dikes can be carried out with grass or plants on top of it because it will attract birds. Those birds can be very dangerous for the planes during takeoff.
The other risk area we would like to discuss is the Guanabara Ecological Station. This is a protected nature reserve which will be entirely flooded if the sea level rises 3 meters. The nature reserve is surrounded by the Guapimirim Environmental Protection Area. This means that the existing mangrove trees and the other flora and fauna, both on land and the marine flora and fauna, are protected and are preserved with the least amount of human intervention. The area is at the moment 2 meters above water level, so the area will definitely be flooded. When the high tide and waves are also taken into account, the water level will be 5 meters in total. This means that measures have to be taken to protect the Guanabara Ecological Station. We worked out two different measures that can be taken to protect the nature reserve. Because of the fact that the reserve is located in the environmental protection area, we focused on measures that take building with nature into account. These measures are planting and preserving mangrove trees and establishing oyster reefs as an underwater wave breaker. The first measure is planting and preserving mangrove trees. At the moment there are already some mangrove trees in the nature reserve, but according to research which is done in this area, there are fewer and fewer trees in the area, for example due to pollution. The remaining trees in the area should be preserved, and in order to create a fully functional natural breakwater, more trees should be planted. Along the 8.5 kilometer coastline of the nature reserve, mangrove trees will be planted, like you see in the picture in the middle. Mangrove trees have several functions. First of all, the mangroves ensure that the water is purified. This happens because the trees can filter harmful substances from the rainwater, creating beautifully clean water. The mangrove trees also provide nutrients to marine animals, so important fish species like to settle here and can survive here. Mangrove is also important with regard to CO2 reduction. Placing the mangroves reduces CO2 emissions as the tree absorbs the CO2 and retains it. The mangroves are also a natural breakwater. Mangrove forests are very important for coastal protection. In fact, these trees protect the coast during storms and hurricanes, as well as from flooding. Thanks to mangroves, the coastline is stabilized and erosion is prevented and reduced. Due to the several functions of the mangrove trees, the trees are not only useful for protecting the area against the sea level rise, but it's also useful to plant them in order to develop the area ecologically. The mangroves alone, however, are not enough to stop 3 meters sea level rise. Therefore, we decided to build a dike behind the mangroves. Because mangroves break the waves, there is no need to build a high dike. This will reduce the total cost of the dike. The embankment will be lined with grasses and plants to blend in with the environment as much as possible. The area is 2 meters above sea level, so 1 meter of water must be held back under average conditions. The dike will have to be about 2 meters high and 8.5 kilometers long to protect the area from the sea level rise of 3 meters and the influences of high tides. The rivers that first led to the sea will be completely closed when the dike is placed. Therefore, to regulate the water level behind the dike, pumping stations must be installed. It is also important that fish passages are installed so fish can still move from one side to the other side of the dike. There is also a lot of recreational boating in this area. It was therefore chosen to place a sluice for recreational boating at the 4 river mouths. This keeps it attractive for tourists to go to the nature reserve. With this measure, it is important that measures are also taken in the surrounding areas so that the flood barrier can be fully effective.
Another measurement to preserve the nature reserve is the installation of several oyster reefs. The oysters can be installed on an artificial reef or a screen attached to the bottom of the seafloor, and the oysters will protect the coastline as sort of a living shoreline. Placing the oyster reefs will come with several advantages towards the challenges the nature reserve is facing. One of them is that the oysters will create a natural reef with a three-dimensional structure, which will serve as a breakwater and will reduce the impact of incoming waves. This will result in a reduction and prevention of erosion, which will lead to an increase of sedimentation. And the increase of sedimentation can lead to a rise of the seabed near the shoreline, which will help to protect against the effects of the expected sea level rises and will also protect the hinterland. Another beneficial effect of an oyster reef is that the oysters are capable of cleaning the water from pollution. In fact, one adult oyster can filter up to 200 liters a day. And cleaner water will attract other animals, which will lead to a better and healthier nature reserve. Also, the empty oyster shells can be used to create a natural barrier as well.
Okay, so thank you very much. Are there any questions about this presentation? Yes?
We just talked about how sluices need to be accounted for the capacity of the rivers, and you saw in the nature reserve a lot of rivers ended in there. I don't know who did Rio de Janeiro. But
Yeah.
How good fit? But what was the question?
Can you build sluices big enough for the capacity of all the rivers that transport water into the nature reserve?
Well, we didn't actually really focus on that part because, yeah, it was just an extra solution just to create a passage for the tourists over there.
Okay.
But it's also important, like some of the rivers were like 100 meters at a width of 100 meters. So we didn't research that, but there are also great boats in that area. So we also have to do the bigger sluices.
Okay.
But, well, we don't know if it's possible, but we actually just, yeah, took it for granted that it was possible.
Okay, another question?
You talked about fish passages in the dikes.
At the sluices, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Like, yeah, because there were also sluices over there, and yeah, it's normal to put them over there.
Okay, okay. I didn't understand it was for the sluices. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions? Edwin?
Has there been any mangroves in the past that you're focusing on that solution?
Yes, there are already mangroves over there. Yes, so it's also suitable because when you just plant mangroves somewhere, it sometimes doesn't work. And well, there are already mangroves, so the soil is good.
Do you know, was there any decrease in the last couple of years?
Yes,
Or because
yes.
of seed growth?
Well, it's actually in a nature reserve, there are already mangroves, but there was a decrease in the mangrove trees. But there was some research about it, but there's a lot of waste in the area. And maybe they're dying because of the waste, but well, it's a little bit uncertain.
Also, with the oysters, is that also currently located in the area?
No, it's not done yet, but they're still looking into it to maybe do it in the future. So it's a good possibility.
But do you know that the oysters will grow in that area? Or?
Yes, that's been said looked into. They grow in that area.
Nice. Yeah, so some nice subjects for further research, but great presentations.